If you want next year to be different, and I know you do, start right now with the one asset that changes everything for you, for your visibility, and all that you're meant to do in this world: your book. Let's talk about that today. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 40 books and counting. Over the course of the last nearly 40 years now in business as a marketing executive, I've worked with everything from brand new startup companies to multimillionaires, even one multi-billionaire. Um, I've worked with stay-at-home moms, doctors, lawyers, nurses, people that you absolutely have heard of, like Olympic athletes and things like that, to people who you probably will never hear from. Not because they're not very powerfully and well known in their community, but just because they serve a particular group of people that may not necessarily be you. And the whole concept behind visibility is being seen and known by the people that you're meant to serve. It doesn't really serve you to reach everybody in the world. In fact, what you really want to do is you want to reach the person really. And I say that as an individual thing, the person that you're meant to serve. That's really who you want to, really have in your life. Really. And I know that seems maybe a little counterintuitive, but it really is true. So let's think about this a little bit. Let's talk about it and let's look at what we've got going on and how we can make that massively incredible difference in this world. Okay. So first of all, I want to thank you for being here. Second of all, if you're listening live, it is the 27th of December, just a few days until January 1st, my birthday, but, also an important day in the year. And, we really want to be able to do the things in 2026, maybe that we didn't do in 2025, or that we did do in 2025. We want to even do them even more. We want to make the impact. You are meant for that. Your book came out because of that. GKL, glad to have you here with us. Becca, so glad that you're here with us. You have a purpose in this world, not just, so that you can keep the carbon dioxide to oxygen balance limited by breathing in and out, but rather so that you can massively impact the world in the positive way that you're meant to. And nothing really sets the stage for that and allows you to be as impactful as you can be as having and putting out and making visible your book. All the speaking, all the talking, all the live in person. I love all of those things. Okay, so I'm not saying don't do those, but what I'm saying is that they pale in comparison to the ongoing visibility and impact that putting your book out does. Okay, I love how Seth Godin said it. He said, I may not need a plumber right now, but when I want a plumber, I want to hire the guy who wrote the book on it. That's what you want to be in your specialty, in your niche, in the things that you do in this world. You want to be the person who wrote the book on it. And you want the world to see you that way. We want the world to herald you as the person who is the expert at that thing. And have it be something small, have it be something micro that is very niche and very small. That's why with all of the things I've done in marketing over, like you said, almost 40 years, the thing that I really, really emphasize on is visibility. And that boils down to the 3 C's: clarity, connection, consistency. I want to show you how to consistently and clearly share yourself with the specific people you're meant to connect with. And in what I do, that has to do with taking your book, whether your book came out literally today, and today's its brand new day, or it's been out for 25, 30 years. Doesn't matter. We want to help you, work with you, and make that impact that that book absolutely is meant to, destined to, bound to, gonna make in this world. You really, really want to see you make a difference. A book can literally change your authority overnight. Now, that doesn't change your visibility overnight, but it immediately gives you a credential. As soon as you put your book out, you're the author of the book on. Okay. Now, if you do your SEO right, and if you use me, I'd love it if you would. Shameless plug of myself there. We guarantee when your book launches, it's going to become a bestseller. Okay. Bestseller is about a 2 to 3 day, sometimes 4 day launch strategy. And those are done on purpose to give you a credential. It's like if you want to be a doctor, you've got to graduate from medical school. Doesn't mean that anybody's going to hand you a prescription pad. In point of fact, when you graduate from medical school, you get to be an intern and spend, especially that first year, doing all of the scut work. In other words, the grunt work, the horrible things, the things that not even the nurses want to do. Okay. The stuff that not even the janitors want to do. Okay. That's just the harsh reality of it. But as you go, you learn more and more and more, and you become the scene expert. You allow that credential to then grow into that authority. Okay. And then as you do the things, the visibility comes. So the credential gives you immediately, you are doctor. And it wouldn't matter whether your doctorate is in medicine, like MD, or you're a doctorate of philosophy, literally philosophy. Either way, you are an expert. You are the top of the level, top tier in your field. That's what a doctorate does for you. You being the best-selling author of the book on your subject does the same exact thing. It can do it in that couple of days, that overnight kind of a situation, versus spending the next 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 years going to school to get the degree in that. And to do that, we then need to take that credential and maximize it. Number one, first and foremost, currently in Amazon's algorithm is reviews. And it's not just any old review, because anybody can come into Amazon and leave a review. And sometimes they post and sometimes they don't. Amazon's kooky like that. But, at the end of the day, what Amazon really wants to see is a verified purchaser review. That's somebody who went to Amazon and bought the book. In other words, Amazon made some money off of it. Okay. They're allowed to want to keep their business running too. All right. They bought the book, and then they came back and they took the time to be able to make a comment about the book. And then not just any comment, it's great if you get any kind of review, and you can actually leave a review and not say any words, and people do. I was looking at somebody's book just yesterday that had 1 5-star review, and the person said nothing about it. But let's face it, as people, when we're looking at a product, especially something from, whether it be a business we've never gone to, an author whose books we've never read, whatever that might be, one of the first things we do is we scroll down and we look at the reviews. And sometimes we even look at the lowest reviews first. What are the negative things people are saying about this? What are the things I should watch out for? Okay, so we want to get you reviews. And then we don't want to just get you reviews and say, hey, this is a really cool book, dude. We want to get you reviews that, tell people, give them insight into. If you're watching on Christmas Day when Willie and I were live, I read a couple of his, legit verified purchaser reviews of what people are saying about his book, Never Stop Wanting 2.0. And I do hope that you also got Willie's latest single, Without You. Great, great song. And be part of it. I can see from all the comments, because I'm one of the collaborators on that particular message that Willie put out. There are literally, I think the last number I saw was 1,500 people that have commented on that particular, just that post that he did. It's going to be another bestseller. I'm looking forward to seeing that song make it to number one again on the new releases chart. Maybe even this time, because it'll be probably not next week, probably the week after next, about 8 days or so from now. It's even a good possibility that the song may make it all the way to number one. Because it's not competing with Thriller in October like it was last time. We'll see. See, that's authority, and that's visibility, and visibility compounds. You take one of Willie's now 14 number one international bestsellers. One of them alone is cool. 14 of them is awesome. When I say to you, I have 40 number one international best-selling books, I'm the author of 40 books. It's mind-blowing, and a lot of people, even people who are authors, are like, wow, I don't know, that's amazing that you wrote that many books. Okay. It builds, it grows on each other. Same thing's true when you're talking about musicians. You put out one hit song. In the 80s, when I was in high school, was the decade of one-hit wonders. I graduated in 1985. If anybody wants to figure out, I'll be 59 in a little less than a week now. And we don't have one-hit wonders anymore. It's just not the way things work now. You put out the hit, and then you want to have it followed up with another hit, and you want to have it followed up with another hit. It's the reason why back when Taylor Swift and Katy Perry were kind of neck and neck, and whether there was ever really a rivalry between them or not, I really don't honestly know. Not sure if I even care, but there was definitely a media hyped up conflict between the two of them. And they were kind of, neck and neck with each other. Well, at some point, Katy kind of leaned into being a wife and mom. And yeah, she's on American Idol and still has a lot of exposure, but isn't touring and doing the things like what Taylor is. And you see the impact, the compounding effect of that continued visibility. Because people know you, they see you. Know creates like, and getting to know you creates trust. And trust, people trust authors. You pick up a book and you read it and you get information, and then people start quoting what that author said. They don't go and all the time. Sometimes people do, but they don't usually try to source it and make sure that person was correct. They just do it. Your book, I promise you, it's going to outperform your ads, your posts, your funnels, because, and here's why. Okay, an ad, all right, or a post, either one. Even a really, really great landing page, you've got 20 seconds, 30 seconds, maybe a really long landing page, 2 minutes of the person reading the stuff. Okay, they might even do like I've done with so many pages that I intend to get back around to. They might even keep the tab open or save it, bookmark it, and come back to it. Okay, but with your book, a person reads it, and if it's short enough, they might read it all in one setting, but most of the time they're coming back 2, 3, 4 times, getting to know more and more and more of you. And because, even if the book was 25 pages long, that's 25 pages. That's 15 to 30 minutes of them spending time, of you pouring into their life. That's assuming that you wrote a book with them in mind, that you wrote the book to help them out, that you invested in them first, that you took the how can I help you today mentality and gave with no thought of what's in it for you, just purely and simply the things that you could do to help them. And that is why, shameless plug for myself, that is why I absolutely suggest to you, you need to step in. Yes, we have a quick start, kickstart, quick win that we can do for you that uses just the reviews. I've actually got a tier 1 package that is foundational. It is the essence of spending the next 90 days. Now, I can tell you that if you spend 90 days and then you stop, within 90 days after that, all the impact we have made will have fizzled. Okay, if you want it to be ongoing, if you want it to eventually get to the place where you're not marketing your book and you have word of mouth, you've got to do that for probably at least a year. In many cases, closer to 3. And I'm just shooting you straight, okay? And it doesn't matter necessarily how high of a level you go to, but you have to do it consistently. But to be able to get the ball going and to make the smartest investment in your ad dollars, in your all the AIs you can buy that can, write posts for you and all those kind of things, that's where that initial tier 1 package can be the absolute best for you. And if that's something you're interested in, if you're ready to get visible, because we can kickstart your visibility so that you're already on the road to visibility before the ball drops. It's January 1st. It's a whole nother year. You got to spend the next 3 to 6 months trying to remember to write 2026 instead of 2025 every time you write something that has a date in it. DM Amplify or put it in a comment. Amplify, AMPLIFY. If you can't remember how to spell that, just put AMP, okay? Let's sit down. Let's talk. I will give you some free quick wins right while we're on the phone. I'm going to look at your stuff and tell you some things you could do. And then, like I said, if it's something that is a good idea, a good fit, something we should do together, we'll talk about how powerfully impactful that primary package, or maybe even, maybe you're at a place where you're like, hey, I'm ready to make a run at New York Times. Now, nobody, myself included, can guarantee that you can make it in New York Times because it is absolutely an editorial. Okay. And I know authors, big and small, authors that have been on the Oprah show. One I'm thinking of, I know personally, that have not made the New York Times, not because they didn't sell enough books, but just because whatever their reasons are, okay? But if you want to make a run at that, we've got that too, okay? It's a more expensive package, much more expensive package. Wherever you are in the field, we've been doing this marketing for 40 years, books specifically for 20. Most everybody that you talk to that's going to talk to you about marketing and advertising your book, they're probably using some form of a system that I created, that I use without even knowing who I am. And that's okay. That's on me. I didn't make me visible enough. And I'm doing the things behind the scenes to make me visible enough too, up to and including having just, moved my book, Bestsellers Only the Beginning, back to number 1 in its category again, which I did on Christmas Day. Those are all the kind of things that we want to do for you, to help you. Because at the end of the day, your book really is the key that's sitting there waiting to unlock all of 2026 for you and work for and with you all of 2026. But the future, it isn't waiting for January. It's happening right now. The people that are the most successful, I read a post from a guy today who was talking about how now 10 years ago, he had an idea, did it, and now he's done it for 10 years. And there's like 300,000, don't quote me on that, people that he's helped with that thing that he does on Saturday before New Year's every year for the last decade. You see, what you do now is going to determine what you're going to do tomorrow, what you're going to determine to do next week. Now is the time to make the move, because the future isn't waiting for January. The future is eagerly anticipating you taking action and doing it right now. So excited for our time we get to be together. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're happy, safe, warm, and loved. And then until we're together again next time, you have a great week.